Welcome to Gentle Restorative. My name is Sandra, and today's theme has to do with how we can use some of our yoga tools to alleviate headaches. So, if you happen to have a headache right now, you are in the right place. And if you don't have one, yay, count your blessings, set your intentions, but now you'll have the tools should one pop up. Go ahead and close your eyes. Let's take a slow, deep breath in. Let it out slowly. Let's just settle into our space for a moment. So I decided to do this theme on headaches because my son has had an awful lot of bad headaches in the past couple weeks, so I figure he can't be the only one. And so we're going to talk about the chakras that would be related to headaches. We're going to talk about the seed sounds that go with those chakras. We're going to cover essential oils, recovering crystals, recovering yoga poses, a particular type of pranayama or breath work, acupressure points, and color therapy. So I'm throwing a lot at you, and hopefully something really resonates with you. Take another deep breath in. Cleansing exhale. Perfect. Inhale, take the arms up, bring the palms together. And then exhale the hands home to your heart in prayer pose. And as you set your intention, let's just add on, thank you for my healthy cells, or thank you for letting me feel healthy, because we certainly don't want to invoke what the theme is about. Perfect. When you're ready, the arms will slowly drop towards the earth. Inhale them up. Take the gaze up to find the hands right above you. Palms together. Exhale the hands to the heart. Let the eyes follow the hands. And then with your head bowed, keeping your eyes open, you're looking at your hands in this mudra. I want you to think about perhaps you have some ability between your hands to offer healing to yourself. So what I first want you to do is separate the hands with the heel of each palm. Take both hands up to the temples. So heel of the palm to the temple. Gently push in and slowly massage. So take it in circles, pick a direction. This is one of the acupressure points to relieve a headache, and we will talk about migraine versus sinus headache versus tension headache versus general headache. There's so many different types, right? But primarily, everything I'm going to tell you should work for each. Go ahead, switch directions. This should just feel relaxing anyway. Good job. Inhale. As you exhale, just let the hands fall away. Backs of the hands resting on the knees, eyes closed. Breathing in calm. And exhaling any stresses. Perfect. So gentle twists are also good for headaches. So left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, take your twist to the right. So primarily, in speaking about headaches, we're going to be talking about 3 of the chakras. That is not to say that the other 4 do not affect headaches in any way. That's not true. But the headache will primarily be associated with one of the 3 chakras that we're going to talk about. So those are going to be the upper 3 chakras. That makes sense because they're all in your head, right? Throat chakra, third eye, and the crown chakra. Go ahead and inhale where you're at. Exhale, slowly unravel the spine. The arms are just going to swing to the other side. You're going to stay facing forward as you inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. So the crown chakra, based at the very top of the head. Its color is usually associated with white. It could be violet as well. This would primarily be a migraine. And so if we know the colors of the chakras, it kind of helps in not only applying color therapy, but knowing what stones we might want to pick to carry around with us, the colors we might want to surround ourselves with, especially if you're using light therapy too, or you have those colored glasses. Those would be really helpful if you know which chakra is off, right? Inhale. Exhale. Release the twist. And then we're grabbing all of our props just so you have them. We're coming into supported child's pose because if you were to do child's pose without the props, that's actually a great pose for headaches. And why I say without the props is because coming on down, my head is going to be inverted slightly. And so the blood is able to rush to my head just a little bit more. That helps alleviate headaches. But since this is a restorative class, I want you to be super comfortable and happy. So tell you what, if you have a headache, maybe don't use the props. If you're feeling fabulous right now, go ahead and use all your props if you want to, so that you're extremely comfortable. And then just close your eyes. So essentially, when we're trying to think of which yoga poses would be great for headaches, we would be thinking about gentle twists, poses that take the head slightly upside down, so that the blood works its way to the head. Could be a little more than slightly upside down, like rabbit pose. It could be very peacefully inverted, if you will, like legs up the wall. Or it's going to be poses that are going to relax and stretch the neck and the shoulders. So obviously any neck movement or neck stretch is going to help alleviate tension. We're going to do yoga mudra because that's a chest opener, and that'll help alleviate some of the tightness in the shoulders. But remember, whenever we do a pose in one direction, we want to counteract that direction. So we'll also be doing eagle to get the stretch going the other way across the shoulders. So think about poses like that, ones that you can settle into. Of course, corpse pose, shavasana. I promise we'll do that one too, shocker. And then anything else that you find calming, which is why we're going to add in some breath work and just invoking intentions of peace, right? So deepening the breath. Settling into child's pose. Maybe letting the hips move around and sink deeper toward the heels. And you know, child's pose doesn't have to have the arms reaching forward. If you don't find that comfortable, or let's assume there is a lot of tightness in the neck and shoulders due to headache or tension, stress, whatever, you can bring the arms back down alongside you, right? And just let the elbows relax toward the earth, palms open. I find that very peaceful. So if you've never tried it, perhaps this is the time to give that one a shot. All right, couple more breaths, and then when you're ready, go ahead and turn your head to the other side. We want to stretch out both sides of the neck evenly. And while you're doing that, let's go back to talking about the crown chakra. So interestingly enough, I think, the seed sound, the bija sound for the crown chakra, each chakra has its own sound, right, is silence. And what do you crave more when you have a migraine, right? You just want silence. So that's kind of an easy way to remember the seed sound for the crown chakra. You might notice also what was I going to say? Oh, depression. You know, if you get depressed when you get headaches, or you've been in bed for 3 days with a migraine and you feel kind of depressed about it, that's also crown chakra. So keep in mind that depression doesn't have to be associated with a headache. So if you don't have headaches, but you suffer from depression, you might want to pay attention too, because anything you can do to rebalance the vibration of that energy center can only be beneficial. Go ahead, take a deep breath in. Let it go. And then let's slowly come on up into table. We'll push that bolster forward if you were using it. And here, I just want you to add some movement. I'm going to go side to side. It just seems like it would feel good right now. If you'd rather do cat-cow, you can do that. You might choose to make circles with the back. Can't remember the percentage I read, but it was an awfully high percentage that one doctor felt headaches were associated from muscle tension. So, you know, I know when you have a headache, you don't probably feel like getting on your yoga mat, but it's going to help loosen everything up, get the blood flowing. All right, let's switch to cat-cow when you're ready. And when you're ready, let's come back to table. Shift the weight into the right leg. We're making circles with that left knee. We're going to open up the hip. No, this has nothing to do with headaches. It's just going to help us get into pigeon pose later. Connect the breath with the movement. Switch directions. One more time around. And then pull that knee into the heart, round the spine, drop the head. I want you to take your focus to the back of the neck. Since we're talking about stretching out the neck and the shoulders, I want you to feel how rounded the shoulders are here, how much space you've created between the shoulder blades, and how heavy the neck is and the head. Good job. We held that knee for a while. Go ahead, set it back down. Move around here in table. You could even push back towards child's pose if you want to. Perfect. When you're ready, shift the weight into that left leg, hip circles with that right knee. So crown chakra, top of the head. Coming down from that chakra, you have ajna, the third eye between the eyebrows. Its color is indigo, but violet will kind of work with that chakra as well. So I associate the third eye chakra more with a regular kind of a headache, not a migraine. Switch directions with the knee. It's also going to be, if you think about the location of that energy center, eye strain, especially if you get an eye strain headache. Oh, I hate those. But that's going to be the sixth chakra as well. Last time around with the knee, and then pull it into the heart, around the spine. Good job. Set that knee back down. And then tuck the toes. Very slow. Downward facing dog. This is a good one because we talked about being upside down, but sometimes there's a little too much upside down when you have a headache, so you've got to determine for yourself, right? Walk this out. Good job. When you're ready, the feet are going to walk forward simply until I can Get about middle of my mat, sit back down, lay all the way back down on the earth. You can have a pillow if you want, totally up to you. Once you get here, will you hug the knees in? So with the arms hugging the knees, right, you can feel how the shoulders have lifted off of the mat. They're rounding forward. So again, creating that same space when we went into cat pose and we held it. But now I want you to let the arms slip away, bring the shoulders to the ground, feel them almost just melting down onto the earth. Open the arms straight out from the shoulders, and then drop the knees to the left. So your double kneed twist is a very good twist to do when you have a headache. It's compassionate, right? We have so much control over the amount of twist by where we have the knees. You should be able to close your eyes here and just veg out. Since we're also working the neck and shoulders, if it's okay with your body, go ahead and turn the head to look over that right shoulder. So the seed sound for the third eye chakra is Om. I'm not sure if you, when you have a headache, if you're going to feel like chanting Om either, but good to know, right? So vision, eye strain, typical headache. And then I said there were three chakras. The throat chakra. Why on earth the throat chakra? So remember, throat chakra is not only throat and mouth and ears, but it's sinuses, right? Have you ever had a sinus headache? So we're going to find some acupressure points to deal with sinus headaches as well. The throat chakra's color is blue. Now, think about this. We've said blue, we said indigo, we said violet, kind of all in a very similar family of colors, right? They're very calming colors. They're healing colors, right? Purple, violet, pink, amethyst. Amethyst is a master healing stone and is good for headaches. The blues being a calming stone and associated with the throat chakra or sinus headaches are going to be equally as helpful to you. The crown chakra, color white, clear quartz. It's another master healing stone, so that's another great crystal to grab. And then this might sound maybe peculiar because it's not associated with one of those three chakras, but what's below the throat chakra? It's the heart chakra. And one of the colors of the heart chakra is green, which is also generally a very calming, soothing color. So green stones also work well for headaches. So grab anything in those categories, right? Turquoise, blue lace agate, sodalite, we said amethyst, lapis lazuli, anything. Don't grab, oh, I just drew a blank. I'll come back to it. It's a green stone. I got to come back to it. There's one that's just particularly strong, and when it pops into my head, I'll shout it back out to you. Anyway, so you're sticking with stones that are in the green, blue, violet, and white family. Deep inhale here. Malachite. I wouldn't advise malachite. That is a really strong energy stone. And the last thing you need when you have a throbbing headache is something else providing a strong energy. Okay, I knew it'd come to me. Of course, you could also grab rose quartz because it's a master healing stone as well. Okay, bring the head back to center first. Let's slowly make our way out of this twist. Perfect. Bring the knees in. Keep the arms where they are. And then we'll just drop the knees off to the right. Turn the head to the left. Settle in. So I do get asked a lot. Well, the first question I'll get asked is, what stone is good for whatever, right? ... But then the second question is, okay, now that I have my stone, what the heck am I supposed to do with it? Get creative. You could carry your stones in your pocket. You can wear them as jewelry. You could put them under your pillow. You could put them on your nightstand. You could put them by your computer, wherever you feel comfortable having them. If you feel drawn to one stone or two together, however that is for you, carry them together. If you feel like one seems a little off to you, that might not be the right stone for you on that particular day or that time. So just put it in a different room for a while. You have to cleanse your stones. They soak in other people's energy. And so if you are a Reiki practitioner or you know one, quickest way, really, have someone Reiki your stones for you real quick. If that is not in your realm, you could smudge the stones, you could leave them out in moonlight or sunlight, or sometimes I just hold them under running water and I set the intention that the water will cleanse the energy off the stones. Just remember, everything's intention based. So whatever you choose to do, or even sage your stones, just set the intention that that is what is occurring. And I have no doubt you'll be successful. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Bring the head back to center first, then the legs, and hug them back in. Perfect. So stay right here for a second. Well, actually, let me say this. If you have a strap, go ahead and grab your strap. I mentioned that legs up the wall is a great pose for headaches. We're not using the wall in this class because I can't see you and I don't know if you have a wall, but I thought maybe I should show it to you in case you don't know what the pose looks like. But those of you who know the pose and have a strap, just hook your feet into your strap, send your legs straight up your imaginary wall. Those of you who have never seen legs up the wall, all you need to do is get one hip as close to a wall as possible. Then as I start to turn away from the wall, bend into my elbows, I'll be able to kick my legs straight up. Do some wiggling on the elbows because when you come into this pose, you would ideally like to have your sit bones touching the wall. And so very relaxing pose. It's good for insomnia as well. If your hips don't like being at 90 degrees, you could put a blanket under your hips or your bolster or a pillow. So you have a lot of options. But meanwhile, where we're going to be is right here with the legs going up our imaginary wall. Because that, I know, that's something I know we all have, an imaginary wall. Yeah, perfect. Okay, close your eyes. If you don't have a strap, don't worry about it. You can either hang on to both legs, or if you're comfortable just sending them straight up on their own, that's good too. So now I'm thinking you probably don't want to have a headache while you're watching this particular class because I'm just talking your ear off. And if you have a headache, really, you just want me to shut up, right? We just want silence. If you want to rock the legs a little bit, go ahead. Couple more breaths right here in this pose. And then I'm going to go ahead and release the strap. I'm going to set it off to the side. I'm coming into supine cobbler, supine Baddha Konasana. So the knees are going to go wide as the soles of the feet turn toward each other. I'm going to reach between my legs to grab onto my feet. And then as I draw them in, with any luck, maybe the knees go just a little bit wider. You might be able to get your elbows lodged in to the inside calf and push, and that'll help give you some extra stretch here. And then I always feel like it's fair to warn you when there's a pose coming you might not be super thrilled about, but If you know me well, you know that means that I will reward you after that with a fabulous restorative pose, right? So as I release the hands, I'll let the knees naturally just come closer together. Cow face with the legs. Cross one thigh over the other. I'll let you pick which one starts. Trying to line up the knees. But then I want to grab onto each foot. That might be where the challenge comes in. Who knows? But don't, like, seriously, don't hurt yourself. Don't force a leg to come in so you can grab it. If you have both feet, I'm just gently pulling them in towards me, and I'm pulling them out away from center. Okay, breathe here. Of course, if the legs don't want to do this, or the hips don't want to do this, what are you going to do? You're not going to do this. You got it. I heard all of you shouting that out. It's perfect. Deep breath in. As you exhale, release the feet, uncross the legs, switch the other leg on top. When you're ready, go Mukasana. You might be able to grab the feet, draw them in, stretch them out away from center, and close your eyes. Perfect. Deep breath. Exhale, let go. Let both feet come to the earth. Slowly stretch out the legs and just close your eyes. Breathing in peace again. Feeling the body settle into your space. Make sure all muscles are happy. They're happy now, right? They got out of cow face pose. Deep inhale. Super loud exhale. Roll to whichever side you prefer. And then very peacefully push your way back up. Fabulous. Grab a block if you have it. Set it up behind you at its medium height. Just leave it there for a second. Just come back to a seated pose. So another acupressure technique you can use is to take one hand to the back of the skull, right? So you're going to have your thumb digging in on one side just under the skull, and probably the first two fingers digging under the other side of the skull. Now, while you're doing that, this is my favorite pressure point for a headache, especially a migraine. This spot right here on the bridge of the nose and then just off to the side, if you take your thumb and your index finger and you gently pinch right there, while you got the other hand pushing in under the skull, close your eyes. That should feel really good. The thing is, if you've got a headache or a really bad one or a migraine, you usually don't really have the energy to exert on the back of your skull like we're doing now. You just really you just want to lay there. So that's what we have the block for. Take a deep breath. Now very slowly let go. So you can just feel the sensation melting away. Release the hands. Okay, since I promised a restorative pose, we're going to need the block where we put it. But let's get something under the knees as well. So if you have a bolster, grab it. If you have a blanket or something else, we'll use that. I'm going to tip my bolster onto its edge. You don't have to if you don't want to do that. And then go ahead and lay back. Now, in order for us to get the block caught under the edge of the skull to really help with the headache, you're going to have to lift your head, tip the block forward. So the front edge of that block is pushing against the back of your neck. It's that back edge that we want to finagle right underneath the skull. So you should feel that. I mean, it's applying some fabulous pressure. You don't have to exert any energy, which you don't have when you have a migraine anyway. And then just close your eyes. So we talked about colors of stones that are helpful. The reason they're helpful is because they correlate to the chakras that we talked about that are associated with those types of headaches, right? So whenever you know the color that's associated with an energy center, you already have a tool in your toolkit to figure out what might help you out. Color therapy, let's talk about that for a second. Each color has its own vibration because each color has a different wavelength, right? Red has the slowest, longest wavelength of all the chakra colors. And so you might say that that chakra moves at a slower pace than, let's say, the crown chakra or the third eye. So every color has its own vibration. If a color has its own vibration and it correlates to a chakra, and each chakra also has its own vibration that matches the color that goes with it, you see where I'm heading? That's why the color's vibration helps balance that energy center. So the really interesting thing, actually, I think about color therapy is scientists feel that because the colors emit their own vibration, that's something, a vibration is something that can be felt energetically, right? You don't have to see the color for it to help balance the chakra. So if you were blind, for instance, the same color therapy would benefit you because you're feeling the vibration. I find that totally fascinating. So we're going to work our way through visualizing some of these colors in a moment, but go ahead and release that block so it's not pushing up underneath the skull and maybe your head feels a little more relaxed. Couple more breaths. I want you to take your focus to the back of the neck, to the weight of the shoulders. And then I'm going to plant my elbows, slowly lift my head, tuck the chin in, push my way up, and get my legs over whatever prop is underneath them. And then will you grab something to sit on? Doesn't matter to me what you choose. I'll just get a little bit more elevated here for a moment. So we talked about yoga mudra, right? I want you to draw the shoulders up to the ears first. Hold it. Go ahead and massage out the neck by rolling the head. You can take the head all the way forward if you want to. Just take it slowly. Oh, another stone I wanted to mention. It's not actually a crystal. It's fossilized rosin, which is amber. It's supposed to draw pain out of the body. So that's a fun one to carry around with you. Okay, bring the head to center, shoulders back and down. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, arms are coming behind you, yoga mudra. Interlace the fingers, slide the shoulder blades in, palms together, knuckles reaching for the earth. And then I like to drop the head forward here because You can really get a good stretch in the back of the neck, top of the shoulders. I actually feel this all the way through the space between the shoulder blades. You can always gently see if the arms will lift at all behind you. You can always ask somebody in the house, if you trust them, to slide their arm underneath yours, and as they gently lift, they'll help your arms rise up. And then slowly bring the arms back down. Release the hands, shake them out for a moment. And so we pulled the shoulder blades together. Now we want to create space. So inhale the arms. Exhale to scarecrow. Bring both elbows forward, right arm on top of the left for Garudasana, eagle arms. So in eagle, probably better to give you a side view, right? Round the shoulders forward, elbows are shoulder height. Don't worry about the hands coming together. It could be backs of the hands. It could be grabbing the shoulders and rounding forward. Now breathe. Keep breathing. And as long as you can maintain the rounding of the shoulders, you could play around here. You could lift the arms up, taking the head with the arms. You could slowly bring the elbows all the way down toward the ribs, head along with the arms. Once the arms are here, you can try to lengthen out and see if the fingers will lower any more towards the ground. And then let's come back to center, big inhale. Exhale, unravel the arms, shake them out. Perfect. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, scarecrow. Bring the elbows towards each other, left arm over the right, wrap it around or do what you need to do, but make sure you round the shoulders and watch where the elbows are. Common mistake is for the elbows to be down here, right? We want them lifted. And again, if you want to play around here, moving the arms around, you can. You could actually go side to side if you want to. You could add that twist. We were talking about gentle twists earlier. You decide, find some play here. Make your way back to center. Inhale, exhale, let it all go. Oh, that should feel a little bit looser, I hope. Okay, so another pressure point that we can work on. This is for a sinus headache. And so take the first two fingers on each hand and just underneath the cheekbones, it would be kind of straight down from the eyes. Get those fingers pushing in and kind of lifting up. But it's the gentle pressure. So you don't have to massage like we do with the temples. Just push in, close your eyes. Keep moving the breath because the breath is very calming, right? And that's what we're trying to do when we don't feel good anyways. Just calm the body down, allow the mind to go somewhere else. On your next exhale, go ahead and gently release that pressure. Release the arms and just close the eyes for a moment. When you're ready, go ahead and drop the head to the right shoulder. Come through center, all the way to the left. And then as you bring the head back to center, you might already know where you're feeling tight. If you want to take the head in gentle circles, go ahead. Careful when you drop the head backwards if you're going to do that. And when you're doing these neck stretches, don't allow the shoulders to ride up and hold the neck space. Shoulders are really heavy. In fact, you know what would be really great? If you have like a yoga sandbag, I'd grab one. I don't know where mine is, but if you put that over your shoulders, that added weight would feel terrific while you're just gently moving the head around. All right, if you're taking the head in circles and you didn't switch directions yet, go ahead. And then slowly bring the head back to center. Since I have you seated, I would like to cover the other acupressure points so you don't have to keep going down and up, down and up. This one's super easy. One hand on the back of the head, the other hand on the forehead. Both are gently pushing in. I don't have a headache right now. I think this feels amazing. Deep breath in. Slowly release the pressure. And then will you take your left hand, just hold it up. Thumb and index finger on the other hand are going to grab this webby part of your hand. You want to get really in there. That is an acupressure point for the head as well. So I find this not super comfortable, like it kind of hurts, and that's okay because you will be distracted from your headache. Just gently squeeze, keep breathing. You could kind of, whichever finger or thumb you have on the front, wiggle it a little bit underneath where the index finger bone starts. And then again, just slowly let go. So you just feel that sensation releasing. Turn both hands upside down to rest on your knees. Close your eyes. Just feel that for a moment, comparing the left hand to the right. And then do the same to the other hand. We want balance here. While you're doing that, let's talk essential oils. So peppermint, very well known to help with headaches. It's a strong oil. If you've never used it before, you should mix it with the carrier anyway, but yeah, make sure it's not too strong for you. If you've mixed it with a carrier oil, which could be as simple as olive oil or canola, if that's what you have in the house, you could put that peppermint oil like across. I put it way up by the hair line because I don't want it getting anywhere near my eyes. That's going to burn. You could put it on the temples if you remember you put it there and you don't rub and then touch your eyes. Sometimes I like to put the oils on my throat so that the smell is drifting upwards. So peppermint's good. Eucalyptus would also be very opening. Lavender is very peaceful. So that one I would use, well, I'm sure if you have a headache, you're probably going to bed anyway. You're laying down. That's a good one for helping you get to sleep. One of the best headache oils I've ever used it was a mixture. It was lavender, peppermint, marjoram, rosemary, and then menthol crystal. So you can buy that yourself if you want to make your own little batch. Okay, go ahead, release. Let the hands come to rest. Close your eyes. So that should get you started with pressure points. I have another great one, but you really need somebody else to do it to you. It's for your forehead. I know there's an acupressure point on both feet for the head. I'm not the expert on the feet. I can't remember where it is, so you need to Google that. I want you to stay perched on whatever you're sitting on, and then can you grab something else? We're going to just stretch out the legs, but I want something peaceful underneath the knees. And so we are going to come into a forward fold. Typically, a standing forward fold would be pretty good because you got the blood rushing to the head again, but we're already seated, and gosh darn it, this is a restorative class. I think we should just stay right where we are. So we're going to hinge forward out of the low back and then just peacefully find where your fold is going to be. You can grab something else to rest on your legs if you want for the forehead. Totally up to you, right? When you're ready, walk the hands back up. Shoulders up, back and down. Inhale both arms, take the gaze up. Let the hands come down to the heart. Let the eyes stay on the hands. So one more thing while we're seated, and then I promise we'll lay back down. You can move that blanket or whatever you had under your knees if you'd rather sit with the legs crossed. We are going to engage in some pranayama here, and a great breath work for headaches is going to create balance. And so alternate nostril breathing, also probably not everybody's favorite breath work, but really good for balance and getting balance between the nadis, Ida and Pingala. You're not going to want to do this if you're stuffed up or if you've got hay fever going on and you just got a lot of sinus congestion. This will not be the most comfortable breath work for you, in which case I'd rather you just count your inhale, count your exhale. Otherwise, I need you to grab a hand and then bend the middle three fingers in. Knuckles rest on the bridge of the nose. Take the thumb, close off the nostril on its side. Inhale through the other nostril. And then as you exhale, switch. So close off the nostril with the pinky, thumb opens up, you'll exhale. So we're going to inhale, exhale out of each nostril, but we're switching back and forth. We're stimulating balance. The nadis that I mentioned, those are lines of energy that start at the base of the spine with the sushumna, which goes up vertically with the spine. Ida and Pingala, they kind of cross. Some say in between the chakras, some say they cross through the chakras. I don't really know. It doesn't matter to me. I just know they're there, and that any part of my body I know is there that I can get balanced, I'm all good with. So go ahead. with your breath. Do that one more time, each side. And when you're done, you'll just let that hand drift back down. Allow the breath to be. Perhaps initiating a mantra in your head. I am peaceful. I am balanced. I am healthy. I am happy. So when you're ready, let's take a block, put it out behind us. Prop your bolster up. I think I'm going to grab the blanket too. So if you have one, it doesn't have to really look like this. This is nothing pretty. It just is what it is. I'm going to sit back against the bolster. And I thought the added weight across the hips would feel really good. So, oh, you lucked out. I forgot we were going to do pigeon pose. We'll catch that one next time for you. Go ahead and lay back. We'll have to re-warm up the hips. Stretch out the legs. And then go ahead and widen the legs out a little bit. Turn the toes, the feet in towards each other and hold that for a moment. And then slowly rotate the toes up towards the ceiling and then just let the feet fall wide. And as you close your eyes, will you just scan through the body? Why do we do that? Well, it's to acknowledge anything that's going on. The sensations in the body are trying to tell you something. If you don't take time to acknowledge them, you don't hear them. You don't see them. You don't get their message. So with the eyes closed, I'm going to give you some freedom here. I want you to visualize the color blue. If that means you're surrounded by blue, fine. If it means you're wearing blue, fine. If it means you're looking at the ocean or you're staring up at the sky, whatever it is to you is totally fine. Maybe you're hungry and you've got a handful of blueberries. I don't know. Just picture blue. So blue is peaceful, it's soothing, it's calming, and it's cooling. And I think cooling is important when you have a headache. You know, a lot of people like ice on their head when they have a headache. One trick I've read about, I never remember to do it, is cold on the head and then warm hands and feet. So you put your hands and feet in warm water, or maybe those like heating packs that you put in your shoes or your mittens. But cooling is very helpful to relieve the swelling that's going on in the head. So I want you, while you're envisioning blue, to add in a cool feeling. Again, I leave this up to you. It could be a breeze. Maybe you're laying in front of a huge block of ice and there's a fan on the other side of it. You can get creative, whatever it is. Maybe you are floating in a pool of cool blue water. So invoking the sensation of temperature as well as color therapy of blue. It's vibration. It's going to target the throat chakra, right? It's going to target sinus headaches. And then, if it's eye strain, you can let that morph into an indigo color, which is, cross between blue and purple. Blue is also going to be good for tension headaches, because usually that's right up in the back of the neck, high up under the skull. So that would be behind the throat chakra. So that would work for that as well. And then, if we've moved into that migraine arena, you might want to start to envision white or violet. Maybe you're laying in a field of violets. It's whatever you picture. Maybe it's a violet sunset. That would be kind of cool. So we're still invoking the temperature, the coolness. I'm going to let you kind of float around with the colors. You could bring in green. Remember, we talked about green being a very cooling and healing color for headaches. Violet is also the color associated with meditation, and we're striving to calm the mind when we don't feel well or there's throbbing in the head going on. So whatever you're seeing, just go with it. Make sure it's peaceful. If you see yourself somewhere, like on a beach, make sure it's only you there. We don't need other stressors. Not that I'm claiming the people in your world are a stressor, I'm just saying it's only you. You might imagine that you can smell lavender or peppermint. And peppermint has such a cooling sensation to it anyway, so it's perfect, right? And remember, I should have mentioned when we were talking about oils, you don't have to wear them. You could just put them on a cotton ball and put it on, in your pillowcase or something. You don't have to put them on if you're not sure how you're going to react to them. And so as you get ready to just head off into Shavasana, remember we said corpse pose is also fabulous for headaches. You can either stay with this image that you're creating, the sensations that you're imagining, or if you'd rather, let it all just drift away and clear the mind, that would work for you as well. And I'll come back and get you after Shavasana. to deepen your breath and invite some movement back into the hands and the feet. Hopefully you're feeling very peaceful and calm. Take a nice slow breath in and gently let it out through the mouth. Bring your hands together, get some friction going. This would always feel good, for a headache too, because there's something about the darkness, right? Especially if you have eye strain. So when your hands are nice and warm, just gently cup them over your closed eyes. And you can feel the energy change, right, behind your hands. It's soothing. When you're ready, release the hands. And then I'll tell you what, I'm going to pause right here for you to make a choice, because I don't feel like making you guys move. So if you want to stay laying down, stay right there. If you would rather sit up and join me, then you can go ahead and make that transition. Now, wherever you're at, deep inhale through the nose. Cleansing exhale. And if you're seated, we're reaching the arms all the way above our heads. And if you're laying down, the arms are reaching up towards the ceiling. We'll all bring our palms together and release the hands back home to our hearts in prayer pose. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.